Now is author and political commentator Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
When God looked at man, he said it's not good for man to be alone. He gave him a woman. He didn't give him a village. He didn't give him the community. He said, be fruitful and multiply to this man and this woman. So it's supposed to be God, husband, wife.
If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always done.
Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome to Shaking My Head with Shemeka Michelle. I am your host, Shemeka Michelle. And listen, if I just start laughing out the blue today, it's because one of my friends sang at a funeral and she said, "You're going to say something about this online." And I said, "No, I'm not." Until I went to see the video, I would have never known that it was so hilarious if she did not tell me to go. I mean, she said, "Don't go look at the video." And so I went to look at the video, and y'all, it's hilarious. I've been laughing for almost an hour now. So if I just, my best friend said, "Are you going to be able to do the show today?" I am, but I just want you to know that there's a lot of text messages coming through as we watch this and reflect, and it was hilarious. I wish I could show you all, but I can't. It's on my phone, and I haven't gotten to that level yet. Okay? So thank you for joining me today. Now, the conversation today. Back in the day, if a boy wanted to talk to me, he had to call my house and hope one of my uncles didn't pick up the phone. Dates meant going to Quincy's or to the movies, even meeting at the mall and possibly eating at Spinnaker's or Piccadilly's. Now you have to beware of the men who would slide in your DMs at 2 a.m. with WYD. And that's supposed to be enough. Dating today looks nothing like it did when I was growing up. And honestly, a lot has been lost in the process. Today, we are going to compare dating then versus now and talk about what's changed and what young people are missing out on, because kids today are being pushed to grow up way too fast. Not only that, what is required of men today, it's confusing to me a little bit. I'm going to start this show with a video. I may play the entire 6 minutes. I may not. But I just want to bring you up to speed with what dating looks like today. Hey, Lotus Flower, thank you all for being here. Let's check out this video. Let me turn up the volume.
Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Okay.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. So,
yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date. Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree.
Not
I
at the
went
Cheesecake
into this
Factory.
date as I expect, with the expectations for myself to keep you safe,
Mhm.
you know, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course,
Mhm.
and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty
and then-
nice, but I mean,
And then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative,
Mhm.
and at least
What did I do that wasn't cooperative?
well, I mean, like even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't know
and
you.
I
Yeah.
can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay.
When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. We're not
Again,
maybe
I don't
we're not
know
there.
you yet.
Okay,
I don't know you yet.
and then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself
there's
all made
nothing
up.
wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, well look at my plan where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See,
I
I
know you
specifically
didn't.
told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 a.m. At 4 p.m. Right?
Mm.
And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs
I understand.
for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late.
Okay, there's no way he waited for that for an hour. That's a lot, right? McLarge Mill says, I remember that. It was outed to be a skit. The problem is women act like this all the time in 2025. I talked to my nephew. Well, he's technically my cousin, but he calls me his aunt all the time. And this is exactly how women act nowadays. They have all of these standards when it comes to how they want to be treated as far as how much money a man should spend on them. But then their standards are so low in other places. Let's say, I mean, for her sake, I hope it was a skit, but I don't think I would put myself in that position unless she really wants to show this is how ridiculous you ladies look. Because listen, there's nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory. That's number one. Number two, she said somebody who looks like this. I saw somebody who was overweight, eyebrows were too dark and filled in. She had braids, so we don't know if she's bald headed. She had eyelashes, and she definitely had on a cheap dress. But this is the attitude that she had, and wanted to run down that he's supposed to cover her, cherish her, protect her, provide for her, and then said other things were too early. It was too early for her to hold his arm coming out the house. It was too early for her to invite him in. That was too early. But when he said, this is a first date in his Cheesecake Factory, she had an issue. And just talking to the young men that I talk to in my family, this is what's normal. The women who Cheesecake Factory is the business, right? Take her walking on the first date. Exactly. Hi, Coffee Shop Chatter. Hi, Alicia. Hi, McLarge Mills. He should have taken her walking on the first date. This is what's happening, though, in a lot of places. Women are not I'm going to call you in a minute. Don't call me yet. Women are being so ridiculous, and we wonder why we are watching relationships fall apart. We know that the marriage rate has dramatically declined. People are not getting married. People are not forming lasting relationships. The only thing they have not refrained from is having sex, having babies out of wedlock. Everything else is on the decline. People aren't dating anymore. And now dating, listen, I don't wish that on anybody. I feel sorry for the people that have to date in 2025. Honestly, because morals and values are out the window. I would say for someone like myself who leans more right, and I have my own view of masculinity, it's tough. It's hard out here. So you never hear me, you know how you hear women all the time saying, I have plenty to choose from. I'm not one of those people who would say that. I'm not in the choosing game now, but if I was, I don't have a lot to choose from. Things are so different now. Listen, I'm going to share with you how I went on this date a few years back. Went on this date to Carrabba's, which is another chain restaurant, as this lady in the video has put down. But anyway, I went to Carrabba's, and the guy seemed very nice, you know, really just respectful. But he started to tell me about how he was sitting in a staff meeting. And one of, I guess, his supervisors or his manager said to the staff at the end of the staff meeting, do y'all, any of you want to hear, I think the word is off-color joke? And he got upset. Mind you, okay, the staff member said, do you want to hear an off-color joke? If you do, come to my office. He got upset because he just assumed that off-color, I guess, meant racist. He went without even hearing the joke, apparently not even looking up what off-color means, because it's not about color. It's just typically an offensive joke. It could have been about anything, religion. It could have been gender. We just don't know. He took it as race, I guess, and assumed that it was racist. And he went on this long rant about the civil rights movement and race and all of these other things, and how he took it to HR and escalated the issue, so much so that the manager ended up being fired for a joke that he didn't even know what the joke was. Scratch him out. I don't want to be with a snowflake, right? I had to scratch him off the list because I don't want to be with a snowflake. That was just crazy to me. I went out on another date, and I'm not typically the one to date. These were kind of like back to back, like I said, a few years ago, but after COVID. So I go on this other date, and we were in a restaurant, and it comes up on the screen something about COVID-19. And he goes in telling me how he got I don't know what words we can say on YouTube, the joke poke. I'm going to say that. He got the joke poke because his former girlfriend made him do it. Cross him off the list because why is she running you like that? So I'm not the one to say, oh, I just got a lot to choose from. I don't know what your standards are, ladies. I don't know how you're walking around saying you just got a lot to choose from. Either you are lying or you're just delusional. You think that there's just a massive group of men out here running behind you, just as this woman in the video, she didn't even count herself out for having on a cheap dress, bad makeup, being overweight. And that's not to say you should have low self-esteem, ladies. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you need to be realistic. And many of you are living in a fantasy world. You are not being realistic. This idea that a man has to make six figures, number one, is not realistic when you look at statistics and the amount of people who make over six figures. Then subtract every other value you hope they have. I don't know how you are feeling like, I just got so much to choose from. That you can really put somebody down for taking you to a chain restaurant. It sounds crazy to me. It sounds ridiculous. And a lot of you are living in fantasy land, and this idea, I'm single by choice, it seems less and less like the truth. Just be honest. Some of you are single because you have unrealistic expectations. That's the bottom line. I hear women saying, I don't want a man that works 9 to 5, and not giving any other context with that. Typically, it is to belittle the man that they would deem as average, the average working guy. Y'all are not being realistic. And if you are up in age, you really aren't being realistic. I am hearing women well beyond menopause with all these criteria. You're not being realistic, ladies. And you are setting our younger women coming up behind us, you're setting them up for failure. As I said, marriage rates are down because somebody is teaching these young girls a bunch of stupidity. They don't want to get with men to build. If you are 23, 24, 25, the chances of you going out here and getting a man already making six figures are very slim. Add a baby to the equation, because many of you are having kids out of wedlock, not even thinking about your future. Add a baby to that equation, and the chances are even slimmer. Add you being fat and out of shape, the chances are even slimmer. And somebody's not telling you all the truth, but you know I will. Okay? Things have changed. And you all are not going into these situations with the right mindset. You're not being realistic at all. One of the things that have changed is people don't socialize anymore in normal settings. As I stated in the intro, it used to be somebody would call you, get to know you. Now it's online. It's like a microwave dating system. And y'all jump from WYD at 2 a.m. to let's meet up tomorrow and have sex. I'm not sure what you think you're going to get from that, what you're going to gain. You're not going to gain anything good. Now, I do know people who met on, I can't even think of the site now, but it's one of those sites that you have to pay to be on. I know a couple of couples that met that way, 20 years later, still together. Match.com, that's what it was. Match.com. But some of you now, today, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, y'all are hopping on these dating sites and you're just looking for hookups. So many people use social media for just hookups. And because of that, people feel like they have an endless choice of people, that you aren't being genuine, you aren't trying to really connect, you're just looking to hook up. That has really changed. That's not the way it used to be. People used to have realistic expectations. Now everybody thinks, oh, I'm just going to start dating. Women think I'm just going to start dating and he's going to have 6 figures. Men think I'm just going to start dating and she's going to be this Instagram model who just swings from the chandelier every night. And you just aren't being realistic at all. Y'all don't do real dates anymore. Movies and going to a chain restaurant, it didn't used to be an insult. You used to appreciate somebody making time for you, period. That used to be seen as something good. You're making time for me to go to Quincy's? I'm excited about that. You're making time for me to go to the Sizzler? I'm excited about that. Now, women are saying they won't even talk to men without the men hitting their Cash App. Hit my Cash App before you think you're going to talk to me. That's prostitution. How do you think you're going to get with someone and actually build with that type of attitude? And then you get mad when you see videos or pictures with a man who has decided to look in a different group of women. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. You get mad at passport bros. You get mad at professional athletes when they looking out here elsewhere. But I only see one group of women constantly online with this BS. You got to hit my Cash App before talking to me. You can't go to the Cheesecake Factory if we see it all the time. If you're talking to me, this is what the ladies will say. If you're talking to me and I mention that I'm on my way to get my hair done and you don't send me an Apple Pay or a Cash App, I already know you're not worth anything. We see that so much. And you all don't value real dates. That's how you get flued out. And then this man is expecting sex and you act surprised. He flew me to Dallas and thought I was going to have sex with him. Well, this is the energy that you are putting out. Have you had any type of conversation, built any type of relationship before you were flued out? I would guess the answer is no. Y'all are so fast paced now that it leaves no room for intimacy. And when I say intimacy, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about getting to a point where you actually have conversation and you begin to share who you are with people. Your hopes, your dreams, your expectations, your fears. There's no room for intimacy because everything is so fast paced. DM at 2 in the morning, WYD to sleeping together the next day. Oh, he fine. Oh, she look good. And that's it. And then you have this relationship that's very shallow, very surface. And then there's a kid involved. You have nothing to hold you together, but somehow many of you think this Band-Aid baby will hold a relationship that's doomed for failure together, and it won't. And so then we have generation after generation of just bastard babies born, and we see the outcome of that. It's not helpful. All we have is hookup culture and casual expectations because dating has changed. Nobody wants to date. Nobody wants to get to know each other and actually build something. We see Cardi B has announced that she's expecting a baby with Stephon Diggs. I don't even know if her divorce is final, yet she is carrying another man's baby just like that. From what I've seen, I don't think her youngest baby, the third baby that she had with Offset, that baby is what, a year old? But she's already pregnant by another man. And I was reading the comments and people were saying, she's rich. It's fine. She's rich. The baby will be fine. They're both rich. The baby will be okay. There's no morals and no values. Everything is money, 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 driven by materialism. Because her being rich does not determine that the baby will be fine. Children need stable homes. And people should be reaching for that by any means necessary. Like that should be the goal. That should be the standard. Not whether or not you have enough money to feed and clothe the child. So yeah, the child will be fed. The child will have a roof over its head. The child will have clothes and whatever else it can ask for. But money does not equate to a stable family. And we're so screwed up in our values. We have people like Nick Cannon and Elon Musk running around here just dropping seeds in gardens they don't intend to tend to on a consistent basis. And men, you have to stop saying, I'm important, I'm important, I'm important, but then your actions say you don't think you're important. Because if you really understood how important your role was in the lives of your children, you would stop sowing seeds in gardens you knew you weren't going to be around to tend to. If there's no relationship, stop putting your seed in this woman and you know you won't be there to watch this child grow. You have no idea how she's going to influence this child, what she's going to be teaching this child, what school she's going to choose for the child, and these people who will then be pouring into your offspring. So I need you all to stop running around just being upset that feminists feel like you have no place when your actions validate exactly what they're saying. If you know how important you are and you know you have a place, stop putting your seed wherever, with whomever. Your actions need to line up with your words. Thank you, Rapping Magazine, for being here. Yes, a Band-Aid baby. Hi, Bronze Bird. So many people, hey, Grams, feel like a Band-Aid baby will hold the relationship together, and it won't. Thank you, Jay Hunter. Just get your passport, dude. Yeah, that's what he needs. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And we can see exactly what's being lost. There's no accountability. When you can just hit it and quit it, there's no accountability. You don't feel any accountability or responsibility to that female. And ladies, you are allowing it. I typically put a lot of blame on you, women, because you open yourselves up to this type of foolishness. Men will show you exactly who they are. You already know. Typically, because we know by statistics, it's the same men having baby after baby, going from woman to woman. It's the same men. So this isn't all men. It's y'all opening yourselves up to the same men who do the same thing. They go over here and have a baby and don't hardly take care of that baby. And then you allow them to come with you, give you a baby that they've already shown you 1, 2, sometimes 3 babies ago that they aren't going to be around to actually raise that child. And then here you are volunteering to be another incubator. But this whole microwave dating culture is just creating less accountability and responsibility. And because people have their phone at the tip of their fingers, they're just scrolling, thinking they have all these choices. That's why you have ghosting. You couldn't ghost in my day because I'm going to see you at school, or I'm going to see you at church, or I'm going to see you at the football game. There was no such thing as ghosting. Now, well, I just, block them on everything. I'm going to ghost them. There's no real relationships. She didn't even know my real name. She called me Little Fat Draws. We hooked up one night. All she know me by is Little Fat Draws. And because it was just a hookup, there's no one knows anything about anybody. It's just a hookup. She's not going to be able to go and Google typically Little Fat Draws and see anything about Little Fat Draws. He's not going to be able to Google and see Miss Thick Thighs. Little Fat Draws and Miss Thick Thighs hooked up on Instagram. They met up a few times and now that's it. Little Fat Draws is done with Miss Thick Thighs. He over there with Miss Big Booty. Somebody else that he found on Instagram and just slid in her DMs at 2 a.m. with WID. It wasn't like that back in the day. Innocence has been lost. Patience is gone. The art of pursuit is gone. The art of pursuit is gone. Now we're arguing about who's supposed to chase who. Men are saying the only thing I chase is my paper. We talked about the women. I catch flight, not feelings. The art of pursuit is gone. And then we wonder why nobody can ever get to the level of so shall a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. We can't even get to that level. And I was told that the original word was chase. Chase his wife. We don't even do that now. We're arguing who chased who. And who chases who with what? A dollar bill, a credit card, just no morals and no values. romance, and being intentional out the window. No one wants to feel like they are stupid or being played. We talked about how women take on this masculine stance and don't want to be vulnerable because she's worried about getting played. Instead of just, putting the wall down, being who you are, and if you get played, it's that other person who's missing out. But we're letting society dictate our actions and not even being genuine and authentic to ourselves. No one wants to be romantic and intentional. It's just WID at 2 a.m. There's no family, there's no community that's guiding young people. When you got to know somebody back in the day, you knew their parents, their siblings, their friends. There was a level of accountability that would guide you in your thinking. So many of us, Jesse, you didn't turn on. So many of us, I'm sorry, I'm reading these notes, just have tossed that out the window. And guys, if I happen to get blurry, please tell me, because I don't know what this camera has been doing lately, but I've been blurry, which I love that you all are here every day, but I feel like it will hinder the growth because I know if I clicked on a video and it's just blurry, I'm clicking out. And I'm telling you all to tell your friends, to tell your friends, to tell your friends. But if it's a blur, they're going to say, why did you tell me to watch that? Okay. Stimulated students. Ghosting is very abusive, manipulative behavior and cruel. You can really hurt someone that's into doing that. Bronze Bird said it was the "Hey Big Head" text that set it off. Hey Big Head. I've taken way better chicks to Wendy's when I was younger and coffee dates now, but hey, I'm a hell of a guy. Jokes aside, you have to have a standard for yourself and not violate. Reppin' Magazine says balance. This is why our culture is off balance. Absolutely. And I appreciate the honesty because so many people will act as if they don't see the off balanceness. They act as if they're clueless in it. They'll get very mad at the repercussions for us being off balance, but they don't want to admit it's off balance. They just want to argue about the consequences and fight about the consequences when if you just try to get in balance again, the consequences will look different. What it's producing will look different. Oh, thank you so much, McLarge Mills. You are not blurry today. I was so upset yesterday because I can't see it on my end. On my end, I'm clear. I was so upset when I saw my pad demonstration was blurry. Like, that's the whole point. Now I can't even share it. I might have to do it again at another time so that people will have that demonstration. Stimulated students, you must got that T-Mobile internet, Obama phone service internet. I'm just playing. Listen, I have Spectrum, but it must be close because lately I've been blurry more often than not. Yeah, I got an Obama camera. That's what it's feeling like. It's feeling like an Obama phone. Time is precious, Alicia says. I support intentional dating. Absolutely. Because otherwise, what's the point? What are we doing? I can feed myself. That's why I said then I didn't date a lot, because for what? I can feed myself. I can take myself out to eat, and I can cook. A lot of people are just going on dates for free meals. We see it all the time. I had a young man when I was really into life coaching who, poor thing, such a sweetheart. Don't know if he's watching. If you're watching, hey nephew, he calls me aunt now as well. He took this lady on a date, and I'm telling you, the entire time he took a picture of her taking a picture of her food. All she did was take a picture of the food and the restaurant. She never really talked to him on the date at all. And this happens to him, or it has happened to him more than once. A lot of these women are just hungry. They just want to go for a free meal. So guys, you have to be very selective. The same way I'm telling women, be selective. Stop with the whole accepting of the what you're doing at 2 a.m. Guys, you have to be very selective if you're looking for something real. Now, if you're just looking, guys, for a hit it and quit it, it's on her to be smart enough to not fall for it. But if you are really looking for a woman to you want to get to know and possibly get married and have a family, pay attention, because many of these girls are just broke and hungry. Broke and hungry, and they are online prostitutes. And they can't be trusted. What this has created for us is a hypersexualized culture. And it's so hypersexualized that many are getting pleasure just in the phone. Just looking at people on Instagram, just tuning in to OnlyFans, just tuning in to watching porn. Because young men aren't having the amount of sex today as they had decades ago. They just beating off and jacking off to the phone. Sorry, I have to be so blatant and bottom line. But that's what they're doing. They don't need to go out here and meet somebody, because they can just tune in to OnlyFans. They can just tune in to Instagram, because women are half naked, and on OnlyFans, a lot of them are completely naked. And you can pull up whatever your fetish is. You like feet, go find you a foot channel. You like hands, go find you a hand channel. And they are very creative in coming up with something to hold your attention. So we don't have people actually going out to meet each other, to have families, and then, or to have this relationship that they're going to be having sex in and eventually have a family. It's gone. Or it's on the decline. So people aren't getting married, but men are also not having the sex as they were at one time. It's like they aren't even interested. They are interested in women, and women are just interested in other women. And I'm always baffled at the women who say they don't like men, but then they go out and get a woman who's trying to imitate a man. I'm all confused, and clearly so are they. Just confused. Social media has people just comparing lives, rushing maturity. And many times what you see on social media isn't real. Yet it's increasing anxiety and depression because so many people sit on social media for hours at a time and bed rot just scrolling. Looking at fake lives, comparing it to yours, and then allowing that to produce anxiety and depression. And these are facts. As I told you a while ago, look it up. I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 hey. Y'all remember that? You're talking out the side of your neck. Oh, 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 oh. I'm not just doing that. If you aren't careful, it will cause anxiety and depression, which is why it's up in teenagers. Because people get on social media so young that their brains haven't developed and they are not understanding, they don't have a sense of self. So instead of self-esteem and self-worth and liking themselves, it's all about who likes them, how many likes they get, how many comments they get. And if they aren't one of these people who are very popular on social media, or their lives don't mirror what they're seeing on social media, it creates anxiety and depression. This is why they have in place certain criteria on certain platforms. How old are you? This isn't just to protect your child from porn. This is also because they know your child's brain is not really developed to be there. So if you put that in the hands of your child at an early age, that's on you. They know exactly how addictive social media can be and what it can do to you and your self-esteem and who you are. So put that in the hands of a child. This is why teen anxiety and depression is on the rise. And we got a really good glimpse of that when these kids had to be online for school, in some places for a whole year. It wasn't just about the vid. Again, don't know what words I can say on YouTube. It wasn't just about that. It was also about what happens to you when you're on social media. Contrary to popular belief, men want more than cat out of the deal. We want a trustworthy confidant and friend to be our person. Absolutely. And I think that, oh, y'all hear my bones pop like that? I'm getting old. I think that society has just really dumbed down the importance of men so much. As I said just a minute ago, I feel like it wasn't even just feminists who said men aren't important. You have so many men now that feel like they aren't important. They've even minimized their own role. I never really bought into the idea that that's all a man wants. So I don't know why we have so many women leading with that and thinking that's all there is. So many women feel like that's all there is. If I give him that, he's going to be mine forever. And then they bring nothing else of value to the relationship. They can't have a conversation, an intellectual conversation. They can't talk to you about anything else. What's going on in the world, politics, religion, parent. I mean, they can't have a full conversation. because they bought into the idea that that's all men want. And so that is all they have began to pay attention to. So much so, they're out here getting vagina rejuvenation surgery. I'm watching the women get new breasts, new butts, new vaginas, Botox, fillers, but not working on their character, not trying to nourish their intelligence at all. They just don't even care. Do I see some crab leg slander in here? One of my homegirls had this dude saved in her phone as crab legs. Wow. I'm with you, Nicholas. Crab legs is crazy. But I'm going to tell you, those crab legs did get a little expensive right after the vid. After those lockdowns, the price of crab legs shot up. That's why I'm telling y'all, men, you better be careful because a lot of these women are just broke and hungry. I didn't do it, but for some crab legs, at one time they went up. I'm just saying. They was a pretty pricey at one time. They went from, you could get them at Harris Teeter sometimes $7.99 a pound with Evic to $18.99 a pound. That's in the store. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. I want to know, before we go, would y'all rather date in 2025 or back in the day, and why? Share some views with me. Because technology has changed dating, but human nature hasn't changed. People still want real connections, respect, and love. We've just gotten away from the basics. Maybe it's time to bring some of that old school back. You know, some real old school where they're singing and he's like, oh, 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 oh. We don't do that anymore. We went from him just begging and crying and loving the woman to these hoes ain't loyal. And then the ladies coming back saying, nah, I'm a savage. And I say all the time, faith cometh by hearing, regardless of what that is. If you're hearing something all of the time, that's what you're going to buy into. We were lucky in my generation or people around my age because we had both. We had the love songs and we were grown by the time gangster rap really just took over. By the time bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks, we were already grown. We had already had Anita Baker. We already had Luther Vandross. We had Freddie Jackson. We had Barry White. We had already done all of that. So we kind of knew what it was supposed to look like, you know? I remember my mom, she would always play Larry Graham. When the bells ring, we'll have a big celebration and send invitations to all our friends and relations. And we'll have a ball, dancing and all when we get married. That's what we look forward to. Now, the kids don't have that. And if you don't have parents who introduce you to these types of songs, you just lost. I mean, y'all don't have hardly anything playing on the radio that promotes love and families. It promotes degeneracy. It promotes whole activity, bouncing from one person to the next. You just don't have it now. The kids don't have it. Oh, y'all talking about a Christian dating app. Thank you. The wealth transfer with TC. I won't date women that post all the time on social media. Let's see. Back in the day with cell phones, most women got many men in their inbox. And that is true. That is true. That's, I feel like it's hard for somebody to really be with me because of what I do, or date me, or what have you, or whatever. I was told, so I've been online since 2013. Oh, it's been a long time. That's when I launched Naked Girls. Naked for us means open, honest, and emotionally exposed. That's how I know Lotus Flower. Naked Girls, that's Naked Girls Michigan. She was over the Michigan group. It was really difficult because I'm online a lot. And I feel like unless you really understand the business, it can be off-putting. Back in the day, for sure. Guys these days are too heavily influenced by the world. Alicia, yes, so much of what we are being sold as glamorous is lies and filters. Hollywood is about deception to make money. Absolutely. Let's see. We got a debate going on. That's true. These YNs aren't into women in real life the way we were. They used to have to pull us up off hollering at females in my YN days. Right. Now, I don't know what, and a lot of them are loving on each other too. I still don't understand the need for a man to walk around having his pants sagging with his entire butt showing. Like, who do you think wants to see that? I don't understand. Like, who's looking at that? Who woke up saying, "Oh God, I just want to go out here today and see a man's behind in his boxers or his briefs, whatever." Who does that? I don't know. But that's how they walk around. I had to realize about myself that I do have feelings and emotions, and ignoring them or burying them aren't healthy. Those walls will start closing in on you. So no, it's not just about sex. Black people to the economy are consumer vehicles. Don't create anything. We just spend money. And love spending money. D. Charles, modern dating exposes the deficiencies in men and women. Hookup culture denigrates the value of healthy relationships. Absolutely. And it does expose the deficiencies in men and women. It really does. Like I said, you can see these women, they are going out here investing in everything but truly who they are. They don't mind spending money on hair and clothes and makeup, new body parts, but they have the same disposition, attitude, thought process as they did 10 years ago. Not even trying to develop into a better person. The goal of the modern men is to forgive pleasure, seek Jesus, and financial stability. I wish they were seeking Jesus a bit more. Stimulated students, dating before social media was cool. It was, and I wish my children could have experienced that. I can remember, one of these days I told y'all the story about when I went to the prom, and I was saying that bar nuns were my favorite candy bar back in that time. There would be times when he would call my phone when I was in high school, and he would say, check the porch. And it would just be a bar nun on my porch. That type of stuff was a big deal. Now, today, I'm still that same person. Baby, bring in Clearly Canadian. My whole life, my whole day is just woo off of Clearly Canadian. But for a lot of people, a lot of women nowadays, they just aren't interested in getting to know somebody for real, for real. And I feel sorry for both sides. So much has changed. So much you all have to fight through. And a lot of that is delusion. A lot of that is delusion. Many Black Americans wrestle with arrested development. This is why so many of them are angry with conservative values. Absolutely. Arrested development. God, I always come up with the show based off of what you all say in the chat. We need to have that conversation. The arrested development. Good God, what is the cause? How did we get here? How do we fix it? Because that's a fact. It's true. Back in the days, reciprocating was the norm for women. Nowadays, reciprocating is seen as being a pick-me. Absolutely. And I told women, you better stop worrying about being called a pick-me before you end up being picked over. Because at some point, the man wants to know he's not wasting his time, that you are interested and you're not just broke and hungry looking for a free meal. You're not just looking for somebody to buy you that new Birkin bag. You are actually looking for a relationship. Thank you, Lotus Flower. Hip hop keeps you in a perpetual state of adolescence. Absolutely. And do you notice everything is baby? Everything is baby. We had baby boy. Now we got the baby, little baby. Everybody wants to be a baby. Nobody wants to grow up. Everything is baby. Everybody puts Lil in front of their name. Be 45 years old and call Lil Daryl. 52. Baby Mark, 52 years old. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. That's right, McLarge. Baby or little slow. I agree. Y'all, I thank y'all for coming here today for dating in 2025 versus back in the day. It has changed. I actually plan stimulated students. I have to look to see what you how you answer in your message. I want to have a panel. Maybe some young girls, some young guys, to actually walk this conversation out, because I do want to see us get better, and I do want to see people go back to some traditional values, and I do want us to figure out how to overcome this arrested development, because it's killing us and it's not good. Thank you so much, McLarge Mills. Thank y'all for tuning in. McLarge Mills, weren't you supposed to message me about the week show? Because I didn't see it yet. Just a little reminder. Don't forget, okay? Or remember to message me so we can plan that. Thank y'all for tuning in. Tomorrow, remember I told you I was going to stop doing Friday shows unless they are just a special show. Tomorrow we have a special show. We have Latina Brown coming on. She's out of New York. She'll be coming on to talk about democratic socialism. You know, there's this big election coming up in New York. They have the socialists running for mayor of New York City. We're going to discuss that tomorrow with Latina Brown. It'll be at 2:00. So join me here tomorrow. Same place, same time, because democratic socialism and how many people are accepting it really has me shaking my head. So head shakers, if you're interested, I'll be here then. Join me. Don't leave me hanging. Yes, girl, I've been trying to think of topics. Okay, just remember, I love y'all. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. That's how me and my kids say it. See you tomorrow, because they be picking on me for being very Southern.